Yo, welcome back guys, here with another video. This time we're doing the Radiant boss here on the test server. So the Radiant boss is interesting because this is basically a dungeon boss that you're already familiar with. This is Ancient Battlefield. It has the exact same mechanics, only difference is he does less damage. So he doesn't just destroy you really fast. So we actually are able with this team to survive the full 5 minutes, I believe. Maybe one person dies. I think maybe Hegio dies like 30 seconds before the fight is over. But we pretty much survived the whole fight here with this team. And although you would think Rally is really bad on Ancient Battlefield because those are a lot of buffs and he can remove those buffs, and then he gains damage bonus for each buff he steals, we found a way through some timings to kind of work around that. So let me go into the timings first, because that's probably the most important thing here. So basically, we have Tathlin ulting, so that if he does have Rally and he gives this attack up, it will expire before the boss ults. So the boss is going to ult every 20 seconds on this fight, so he'll ult at 20 and then again at 40. So if we have Tathlin ulting at 29.5, that means the buff will expire at 39.5, which is right before the boss ults. So this attack up buff will never be up when the boss ults, which is good. Now, the problem is Rally is a thing, and Rally is a buff as well. But we can compensate by making sure that our DPS are ulting before the boss does every turn. That way they consume that Rally, and then there is no Rally left on them for when the boss tries to go and steal their buffs. So that's how we're kind of working around this. I guess these timings maybe could be improved a bit. We don't have to do 18 seconds. We could go... Actually, we do have to do 18 seconds. Because the reason I'm doing 18 seconds is we want this attack up buff from Tathlin to still be up when they ult. So it'll still be up when they ult. But then they're ulting with only like 1.9 seconds left. Hopefully, Tathlin doesn't get too lucky and it gives them an extra Rally stack right, within those 2 seconds, because then the boss will steal another buff. So maybe you could try and narrow the window on this a little bit. So if the buff is lasting until 39.5, you could, I guess, have these guys ulting at 19.4 or something, and that would also work. If you wanted to be really, cut it really close. And actually, I'm doing 19.3, 19.4, and the reason for that is Hegio, whenever he does a ability, has a chance to give Rally. So if he somehow gives Rally on his ult to Gatuna, we want her to then ult after that to use up that Rally. So make sure that Gatuna's like 0.1 second after Hegio. And then again, to save some time on the turns, we can just have them all ult around the same time. The main thing here being that this boss is Ancient Battlefield, and he gains buffs, so we want to either remove those buffs or block those buffs. And the answer, the solution, is Fira. Fira is able to do buff prohibition and buff removal. So she has like, failsafe here with the ult and the battle skill, able to remove 2 buffs and also place buff prohibition. So she's a perfect character for this boss. And also she has a passive for every debuff on the boss, gains bonus resistance. And since Ancient Battlefield throws a stun at the enemy that is furthest away, she's the perfect person to use for that job. So we're putting a bunch of resistance gear on her. We have the candle, we have resistance on a lot of the gear here. We're using a negative, I think actually no, we have to use an accuracy rune, but we're using a resistance body armor. So it is very hard to get the stats for her. She was kind of hard to build. We had to get a lot of accuracy and a lot of resistance both. And then we have this crit damage aura. The reason why we're not using the resistance aura is the damage really falls off if we don't use this crit damage aura. The crit damage aura from Gatuna really gives us like 3-4 million more damage. And since my Psyche Core is more upgraded than your guys' will, I wanted to make sure that we were, 5 million plus beyond 22 million to ensure that you guys can get that 22 million. So I feel like it was mandatory here to use the crit damage aura. And yeah, the gearing here is probably the hardest part, to get both enough accuracy and resistance on Farah. And then as far as the gear for Hegio and Gatuna, that's pretty much basic crit rate, crit damage, attack percentage gear. Only difference being that we are using Arcane Music Box on Hegio because we have shields. So Adolphus is shielding. Hold on, we need to make him 1 second earlier, 19.2, so that the shield will always be on Hegio when he ults. That way he's doing the maximum amount of damage with that ultimate. And we're able to build him with crit damage gloves because we have so much crit rate coming from the artifact. So we were actually, I think, able to get 100%, yeah, 100% crit rate with crit damage gloves. So very good. And I think you should be putting your very best gear on Hegio. He is by far the best damage dealer on this team. It's not even close. He's doing like double the damage of even Gatuna. And we have Gatuna built here with attack speed because she gains bonus damage. When she casts her battle skill for the next 8 seconds, her attacks deal bonus damage. So attack speed is pretty good on her. We got the attack speed set here. I'm not sure this is really needed. You could also go the crit damage set. Either one is probably fine. But we're trying to get more damage from these basic attacks by getting more basic attacks off. And yeah, so building her with attack speed. And then Tathlin here, because he has a 3-hitting ultimate, he's the best person for the job to apply the Witch's Remains. So we have him applying the Witch's Remains. And again, we want attack speed on him to provide more rallies. So we have attack speed here on the runes and the attack speed set as well. On the gear. So the only person who's not in attack speed gear is Hegio because he doesn't care about attack speed and he's going to be our top DPS. You want to put your very best gear on him, and then the other guys, mainly Gatuna's in here for the aura, and Tathlin's in here because he's convenient for applying Witch's Remains and to give rally. And then Adolphus is really the carry here. He's the one keeping the team alive for the whole run. And he's just an absolute stud at doing that. So we get a bunch of enlightenment. And we also get defense. Those are the 2 stats you really want. A bunch of enlightenment and defense. Since we're using the puppeteer set, we are going to be giving defense to everyone around him. And he is turn boosting, usually Hegio. So if you wanted to, I tried it. I had Hegio on full auto, and he was getting a lot more ults off. But then we also had the issue of he was not always ulting on the defense penalty. Sometimes he had rally when the boss would ult, and then the boss would gain a buff stack. So I ended up deciding on the more consistent team was just to use everyone timed. Limiting Hegio by a few seconds, a few ults, but then guaranteeing that his damage happens both with the shield up and with the defense penalty. But yeah, mainly Adolphus is just providing massive shields, which are protecting us, and he can also heal, believe it or not, when he battle skills someone, when he battle skills someone and then follows it up with an ult, that person will get a heal because of his passive. So if they already have a shield up, they get a heal. So he's amazing. He pretty much carries the team the whole 5 minutes. And yeah, this team is a 27, maybe 28 if you're lucky, million team. And I hope this helps you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. We're going to be moving on to Fire next. All right, guys. Catch you in the next video. Peace.